Welcome back to the TD Ameritrade Network. Two of the big movers today, the U.S. dollar on the downside and crude with a little bit of a pop higher, stringing together some decent moves. Scott Bauer is with us, the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. Scott, let's start with the dollar. For big moves, everything is relative here. It's not a huge one, but it did catch, I think, a lot of people's eye just given now the questions being asked about the U.S. economy.
Yeah, that and also the move that we saw in the yen, that is really, Oliver, where people were flocking to with all the uncertainty that came out after market yesterday with Apple, and again, today with our numbers. But yeah, the dollar is definitely on the decline here. But like you said, it's not a huge move, but there is certainly some pressure.
Yeah. Scott, the 10-year and the dollar have not really been moving in tandem for quite some time now.
Nope.
But if that 10-year yield has been rallying as big as it has, I mean, there hasn't been some giant shift in global monetary, policy. There hasn't been some huge dovish move by other central banks from what I can see. They're not hawkish by any means.
Right.
But if it is about the U.S. economy, is it only a matter of time before it shows up in the greenback?
You would think so. You and I, how many times have we talked about that 2018 was the year that did not follow suit, right? Things did not go as planned. Now, all of a sudden, we're starting to see some of these safe havens actually take hold. We're seeing the rally in gold that's probably been well overdue. We're seeing the rally now in bonds, right? We're seeing prices get bid up and yields come down as that's more of the safe haven play. So maybe that is in play now. Maybe the relationship between the 10-year and the bond market and the dollar is starting to come back into play here.
Yeah. All right. So does this then, follow through into the energy conversation today? Crude seems to maybe be trying to find some degree of a bottom right now. What are you thinking, Scott?
Yeah, I'm not sold on that one yet. I don't want to look at just 1 or 2 or 3 days here as a data sample. Yes, down when we were at 42 and a half, there was an incredible amount of buying down there. But over the last couple of days, we have seen the Saudis and OPEC really come out and pull back a little bit, which, people were looking for any reason to buy there. But I think that this rally that we've seen, and it's been a pretty decent rally the last couple of days in crude here, I think that it's probably coming to an end very shortly here. And I would not be surprised to see sub 45 and even 44 again, maybe by Monday.
Yeah. All right. So, Scott, what do we look for in this market? Because crude also huge decline around the same time as bond rallies, the same time as the stock sell-off. If the stock sell-off continues, do you expect that the crude sell-off also continues in this big just demand, concern about global economies?
I do think that those go hand in hand. Now, I'm not so sure that we will continue to see the overall equity market sell off, but I do think that we are going to return to some sort of, if you want to call it normalcy, Oliver, where those safe haven assets now do start to get bid up if we see continued pressure across the marketplace.
Yeah. Scott, all right, when we look at what tomorrow might bring, you're a trader, are you looking at this event with some kind of a trading perspective or opportunity, because this is a big employment number after a lot of talk about data this week?
It's a huge employment number coming off of the ISM number today. And, as a trader, if you're looking for an upside move, you're really hoping that you get a blowout number, just not on the unemployment number, but also on the wage growth. And that would hopefully, for the bulls out there, offset what we saw today from the ISM. But it's really going to be interesting, because we have two major economic numbers here. There you could see that push and pull from one end to the other. One very bearish number that we saw today. Hopefully we get a real robust, strong number tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. But that could also change overnight. Just the whole feeling out there, the whole emotion of the bond market as well. If we get a real rich, real strong number tomorrow, we might see a little bit of a sell-off in bonds.
Yeah. All right, there we go. Scott Bauer, good perspective here. Big day tomorrow. Mr. Bauer, always a pleasure. See you, Scott.